Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and it's been too long, but we're finally behind the wheel of my 1977 XJ12. First time it's out this year. I've started up a couple times during the winter just to circulate fluids and things, but it's the first time the wheels are actually rolling out of storage. This is not a car I drive in the winter. We don't get salt up here on top of the mountain, but we do get grit, like little stones that they put on the road. So yeah, I don't want that getting everywhere on this car. But now, about a week ago, they cleared all of that. It's nice and sunny. So fired up right away. We have half a tank of fuel on one side and about a full tank on the other side. Gonna run those down a little bit over the next couple of days and then add some fuel injector cleaner and fill up with fresh fuel. That's usually my spring routine with this car. I serviced it right before I put it away because there was a plan for a big road trip with this car that never happened. The ferry that we're going to take was overbooked. So yeah, this thing kind of was just put away. I don't know, it just sort of got put in the corner, and then suddenly it was winter. But we are running. We have really good oil pressure, 70 psi so far. AC's blowing really nice and cold. It has a fan air upgraded system, which is one of the best things you can do if you have an old Jag. Contact Pat a fan air and get one of the upgraded systems with the sanding compressor. It's amazing. It's so cold. This is like 5 years ago I think I've done this, and it is still just the most ice cold AC ever. If you put on full blast, you could, I mean, it's a freezer in here. Other than that, things are feeling good. I don't feel any flat spots in the tires or anything like that. When I pulled this thing out of storage, I realized one thing, because I was thinking about, like my wife and I talked about how long we've been together, and I got this car right before I met her. So I started thinking, you know what? Was it 10 years ago I got this car? And I looked it up. In September, it will be a 10-year anniversary of me buying this car, and pretty much right now is the 8-year anniversary of me getting it back on the road. I met my wife around Christmas, and then in the spring, around this time is her birthday, and the first time that we went away together on any sort of little holiday, we went to a little spa hotel. That was the first outing in this car. It just passed inspection a couple days earlier. I just finished it, and we took this thing. So it's been in our life for a long time, and it's one of those cars on the channel we've often talked about that is, it's never ever leaving. One day I do want to fix a couple of cosmetic things on it. It does have a pretty bad paint job from sometime in the 90s, and one of those just kind of shut and spray jobs. But it shines up well, it looks well, you know, a couple meters away, but up close, it could do with some things. But it's rust free. It's pretty low mileage. It's never really been restored besides just having a paint job one, and I had the floors and one of the sills replaced. But otherwise, the interior and everything is completely original. Even the headliner, it is starting to, like, it's so weird, this headliner. Like, in the winter, it sags. All right, here, a tiny, tiny bit once there's like moisture on it. But now it's been sitting out in the sun for a day, and it stretches out. So, I don't know what to say about that, but it's the original headline, the original interior. We're at 83,900 kilometers right now, and that is original. I believe it was at something like 69,000 or 71,000 when I got it, so I've driven it quite a bit. And yeah, I've done everything under the bonnet like we talked about earlier. We've done basically intakes off, done the injectors, cam covers. Oh, we have a tractor up here. Everything like that, coolant hoses flushed, everything, water pump, all of that. And that is, you know, 8-9 years ago now, and we're still running beautifully. Just gotta wait for this little tractor to pass here. But I think we need to do some more things with this car this year to commemorate 10 years of owning it. Got a couple small issues, like I said, I do want to fix on it. It is time to flush out the coolant system again, just because of the years the coolant's been in there. I think it's 4 years, so it's a little bit overdue. So we'll flush that. Fuel lines are still good, but a year or so more, I would like to replace all of those. Let's see if we can pass. Of course, we get a car at the same time when I'm trying to pass the tractor. It does do one thing very well, this car, and that is haul. It is, I mean, an XJ6, I wouldn't say it's that quick for modern standards, but XJ12 is still quick for modern standards. We're going out here to a road where we can give it a little bit. Still gonna drive it gently. This is the first time I rode, but I just wanna kind of show you guys what it's like with these early injected V12s. I need to turn down the AC. It's getting pretty cold in here. But let's see here, we'll just do foot halfway down. And that second gear, and we'll let it pull a bit in second. 3,000, and we're past the speed limit. Now we're in third. So it is still a pretty quick car. The one thing that a modern car can't beat with these cars is sort of acceleration at highway speeds. So, you know, like 100 to 150 kilometers an hour, when this thing just uses all its torque and just goes for it, that is quite an amazing thing. We're not going to take the longest drive here. I'm just going to go around here, and then if we want to go back and check all the levels and stuff again, make sure everything's fine from it sitting so long. But we'll drive a little bit longer. We're going down a nice road here, which locals call it basically the drunk road. I don't know the story behind that, but it is a shortcut if you're going down to the beach over here. And it's a really small, narrow road. It's still asphalt, but I don't know if it's one of those things if you want to go out and party or something and there are no cops there. I don't know. That's what they call it, the drunk road. You gotta stop here. It's quite narrow, so you gotta wait. There's a car coming up. But then we can demonstrate the utter silence and vibration free that these cars are. We're sitting here idling. If it wasn't for, you know, I had a tachometer in front of me, I would have no idea the car is running. That is it's the way it should be with these cars. And the only other sound you can hear is the clock ticking, and you can hear the fans for the AC going. But yeah, we still have 65 pounds of oil pressure. We got a little bit less than half a tank of fuel now. And we are between the O and the R of normal on the temperature gauge, where this thing usually always sits. It does have the electric fan. I have bypassed it, so it's not with the automatic switch. I have a little switch underneath here because I like to, because I really drive this thing mostly when it's kind of warm outside, just because how good the AC is. And if you're pulling off a highway on a really hot day and you know you're getting to a stop sign or something, when I indicate to turn off the highway, I usually turn on the extra electric fan, so when I sit there, that's the only time this thing could get a little bit warmer. I mean, that's probably a little bit overkill. People are stopping here at the meeting spots where you can go. But I'm going to go a bit further, then I'll turn around, and then on the way back, we'll stop at one of my favorite places, and we'll go out and have a look at the car from the outside for those of you who haven't seen it. We're almost at my favorite spot that you guys know I like to stop at, have a look at cars, and I think it might even be starting to turn green here with the spring here. I really forgot to say one thing that this car is a good example of. If you compare this to my XJ6, this thing is just a lot tighter, and the only thing I think it actually has is I've put new shocks all around, but otherwise bushings and things are original. I do need to replace them, but this thing is just so tight because of the low miles and that no one's really messed with it. It has no squeaks, no rattles. That is just a cassette that's rattling around right there, and just nothing like that. No squeaks in the interiors, nothing. So say what you want about British Leyland era Jags, they did build some of them well. This is one of them. It runs fantastic. It's smooth, it's quiet, and it still feels really, really luxurious today. Pulling up to my favorite spot here, and I just want to show you guys the dials. So hot oil pressure, that's very good. It's so smooth. The one thing, now I sort of remember why I parked this thing. I was having a little bit of a charging issue. It's my second rebuilt Lucas alternator, and I don't know, it lasts for a while, and then, so if I put everything on sort of max, we can show it a little bit later when we're back home, this thing will go down pretty far and it will stop charging. I verified it with, separate meter. So yeah, definitely something going on there. But let's go out and have a look at the car. It is, of course, very dirty from sitting. It needs a wash and a wax. But still, look at that thing. I absolutely love this thing. Polished Kent wheels. Slight exhaust blow right there. I need to redo the whole left side exhaust system. It's on my list as well, but it's just running beautifully. I mean, we're still running on last year's fuel. That's not bad. I know you guys probably want to see underneath the engine. There was AC just clicked on. This needs some detailing as well. It's quite dusty from this winter. But very, very smooth. Couple things I do want to redo. I was a student when I rebuilt this thing. I didn't have money for plating. I do want to plate these. I just painted them, and now 10 years later it's starting to chip off a little bit. Cam covers still look amazing. I redid and everything else. Yeah, I didn't take these things. I mean, there are things left to do, but I'm keeping this thing as a driver. It drives fantastically well, so comfortable, and so far it's been a really, really reliable car for me over the 10 years. Things have happened, but it's never failed to get me home. I've never been on a tow truck with this one. Let's see if I can demonstrate the power meter, voltmeter going down really far. So we have the headlights on. I just want to show idling here. I mean, it's gone off one needle width right there, so where it always sits. If it's really, really hot, like heat soak, on a hot day you come out, you can get up to the L. As soon as you run it, 30 seconds later, it comes down to there. But let us put some load on the system. We'll put on main beams. We'll put on my electric coolant fan. And we'll put on high in here. And let's see if it still does it. I think I cleaned up some connections here. I know I did something. You see it's falling. Previously, with my bad coil, this thing would fall so far and the car would start misfiring. Let us put on the heated rear window as well. I mean, we're going down. Oh, yeah. Still running. I can feel it missing slightly, slight vibration to the car, so it's definitely, it likes getting a full, 13 volts ignition system, or, to the baluster system, then it's like 6 volts out. Yeah, you see, falling. So yeah, I want to do something about that. I think the best option is to get a non-rebuilt one, get a good original one that works. I want to keep it Lucas. I think I'm going to get one from an XJS or something, or an XJ12, a Series 3 or something that's being parted out or something. Let's see if I rev it up a bit. Yeah, you see it's very, very slow to respond up there. So that will need some further investigating, but it doesn't stop me from driving it at least a little bit around town. So there are a couple things, of course, to fix on it, but I can enjoy it as it is right now. It's running well. We have nice weather. It's cold AC. Yes, it doesn't charge the best, but maybe I won't go long distances at night where I need a heater and a wiper and everything. And we'll have a look at that charging issue. Either I'll have to just get another alternator, a completely different kind, or get a better way of finding a rebuilt one. I think these have been remanufactured ones, and I don't know, they last for a little while and then they just go. And I mean, I have a new battery. I've tried everything. The only thing I haven't tried is adding a new extra ground point. May do that, but everything else has been cleaned up. So yeah, don't know what's going on. And also, it charges really, really well when you just fire it up when everything's cold. So that's sort of weird. Other than that, flush out the coolant system, new coolant, check for leaks, but I don't think there are any. Hoses are still good. Give 2 or 3 more years on. Oh my god, a deer came out. Yeah, spring is in the air. Do that and rehang the exhaust on the left side. And that's pretty much it. But the one thing I do want to do this year, I want to drive this thing a little bit more. I used to drive it more, and I was starting to drive it last year, and I remember why I didn't. It was because of the charging thing. But it misfired much worse then because I had the coil issue that we fixed during the winter. I had a coil that was going out, and now we're running the original Lucas one from basically forever ago, 50 years old, but that one works well. The other thing I want to do is, let me check here now that we're back home. I can pull up the MOT history or the inspection history here. Just want to see how much I drove it last year. It was almost a year ago that I had it through. So let's see, right now we are at 8.39112, and we were at 8.3573. All right, only 340 kilometers last year. That's not good enough. We gotta do a road trip or something. I don't really drive that much because I work from home except once a week. So it's hard to even use it, but we'll do a road trip. And I think this year for the summer meet of the Swedish Jag Club, we're bringing this one. Yes, it's not that far away, but I mean, it still puts some miles on this thing. But let's shut it down. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. You'll see more videos on this car and a ton of other V12s, old Jags, Rovers, you name it. Cool classic cars here on the channel. Till next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.